Well, for more perspective on how Singles Day has evolved over the past 10 years and China's e-commerce sector in general, I'm joined live from Shanghai by market research consultant Ben Cavender. He's a principal at the China Market Research Group. So, Ben, let's start with a look back. How does the first Singles Day shopping holiday compare to what it's become now?
Well, if we go back 10 years ago, it was really a pretty humble day. It was kind of a test to see if you could actually get consumers comfortable purchasing products online. So it's really evolved from a really humble day to something that's doing 3 times the merchandise value of Cyber Monday and Black Friday combined in the US.
So how were they able to grow this self-made holiday so quickly?
Well, I think a big part of it is they've really turned it into an entertainment day. It's not really just about shopping. So if you look at what Alibaba has done, they run concerts, they run fashion shows. They really try to get consumers as involved as possible in the day, and they make it very easy for people to buy products. So you're not just buying, through your phone or through their computer. You have a lot of different opportunities to really interact with the day, and they do a lot of build-up as well. So this isn't just a single-day event, really. There's sort of a 2-week build-up to this where people are starting to save items they might be interested in.
So on the day when you're actually clicking and buying, what sort of products or services tend to generate the most interest during Singles Day?
It changes a little bit year to year. I think what we're seeing this year is consumers are becoming a lot more interested in things like health supplements. There's a growing trend towards health and wellness right now in China, and so that's where people are really spending their money. I think the other thing is if you look back over the last few years, companies were really sort of pushing cheaper products that they wanted to get rid of on this day, so they were trying to clear inventory. That's not really the case anymore. If you want to be successful as a brand now in China, you really have to be offering something special for Singles Day, and so you're seeing a lot more premium products that are maybe offered at a good price, but they're still fairly premium, and it's still good value for both the brand and for the consumer.
And we also saw more collaboration between online and brick and mortar stores, among other advancements. What does Singles Day show us about the future of retail?
Well, I think it shows that if you as a brand or a retail platform want to engage with the consumer, you have to really create a compelling experience for them. It's not just enough to have a product showing up online in a store or a product showing up in a physical brick and mortar store somewhere. You really have to create this sort of seamless experience that allows brands to relate really directly with the consumer. You have to have a lot more data about what the consumer wants, a lot more variability in terms of your ability to bring in new and interesting products quickly to the consumer. And so companies are going to have to be much more technology focused than they were in the past. That could mean AI, deep learning about what it is consumer trends are looking like on a weekly or even on a daily basis. So it creates a lot more challenges, but also a lot more opportunities for brands.
And we know that we've seen US retailer Walmart collaborate with China's JD.com for their own self-made shopping holiday. How does it stack up, though, in terms of the rivalry for these shopping holidays?
Well, if you look at JD and you look at Tmall, they're both really trying to win the e-commerce space right now in China, and Tmall sort of traditionally has had the lead there, but JD has invested very heavily in its own infrastructure and also does quite a good job. If you look at the 2 different sales days, I think Alibaba has a little bit more pomp and circumstance. It's much more of an entertainment event, but consumers at this point realize they're going to get good deals on both days, and so it does create a lot of competition, and I think ultimately it does make it challenging for the online players because they have to spend a lot of money to pull these days off and make something interesting happen.
Now, we know that this shopping holiday is coming against the backdrop of the US-China trade war. Did we see any impact in terms of prices and Singles Day sales?
Well, I think the thing is, brands have sort of been aware that the trade war was kind of brewing, so I think a lot of American brands certainly have prepared for this. But I think what you do see is brands from Southeast Asia, from Australia, from Europe, taking advantage of the fact that they might have slightly better access to the consumer relative to American brands. But at the same time, consumers are not necessarily just looking for the cheapest price. They're looking for the excitement of the shopping, and so I think a lot of American brands are still continuing to sell well throughout Singles Day. However, I would say that the consumer is probably a little bit less maybe optimistic or positive about the future this year than they have been in the past, and that probably partially explains why, even though sales continue to grow this year, they didn't grow quite as quickly as maybe a lot of people expected that they would.
And so very quickly then, what do you see as any potential challenges to the growth of China's e-commerce market?
I think the big challenge we're going to see in the next 12 months is really related to regulations. I think the government here is looking at how they can more effectively collect taxes from smaller businesses that have been sort of importing product and not paying duties on the product that they've been selling online in China. And so there's this process that will be happening probably at the start of the new year where people really have to register for permission to sell online, have to be paying duties on products through customs that they're bringing in. That could definitely slow down online sales just because a lot of people are maybe going to drop out of the market because they won't have the margins anymore.
All right, thank you so much. Ben Cavender there from the China Market Research Group.